So we are toward the end of the book 4, The Quest, Canto 4, Quest. $100.1. The poet is kind of rounding up the long description of Savitri's travel through different parts of the country, through different places, palaces, capital cities, villages, urban areas, suburban areas, forest, inland, resources, and things like that. And Savitri has been traveling almost for 1 year from place to place, almost for 1 year. Essentially, in fact, here itself I got a specific mention of Savitri's travel. $100.12. The months had fed the passion of the sun. The months had fed the passion of the sun. And now his burning breath assailed the soil. So it is almost at the beginning of the summer. Savitri had set on the journey, and it is coming to an end now, almost again in summer. So roughly almost for a year, Savitri has been going from place to place. There is a very pertinent description again in 106.31, sorry, 106.66. To whom the king, the red Ashoka, watched her going forth, which now sees her return. Now, this is in the context of Narad's visit to Ashwapati when Savitri is about to return to the palace after meeting Satyavan. And when Savitri enters the palace, she sees her parents in the company of Narad. Narad looks at her, he knows everything, and sort of innocently he asks the host, who it is who comes? The bride. Where has she gone? Why is it that we have not yet got her married? I mean, this is a kind of a question Narad is asking to the host, to Ashwapati. And it is in response to that, Ashwapati replies, the red Ashoka watched her going forth, which now sees her return. Now, the red Ashoka is the plant, is the tree at the gate, at the entrance of the palace. So, Savitri is driving through the palace and gate, and she has set herself on the quest. So, it is the red Ashoka who is speeding her by. And now, it is that red Ashoka who is receiving her back. That tree is receiving her back. Now, red Ashoka, it means the color of the flower is red, and normally it blooms in the summer. So in the summer, the red Ashoka saw her going. Now again, the red Ashoka is coming her back. So it means that roughly Savitri has been traveling, is going from place to place for 1 year in the search of her life partner. And then of course she meets, etc., all that will follow. So it is this long journey which is described in the present canto of Savitri, how she is going from two different places, where she is staying and what she is doing. And now the poet is kind of rounding up the whole journey of Savitri scene. So, as floats a sunbeam through a shady place, the golden virgin in her caravan car came gliding among meditation's seeds. Now, the comparison of Savitri's going in chariot from place to place is with the sunbeam, ray of the sun. Through the forest, the way the sun goes, sunbeam travels from one region to the other region, as if she is going from the one forest land to the other forest land. In that manner, Savitri is a sunbeam going from place to place to the thickets of life, and she is now coming back here. As floats a sunbeam. So it's a very gentle way of saying. She is not driving, she is not hasty with that thing. As float came gliding and float, they are about the same thing, you see. You glide down the staircase, you see, very happily, briskly, without making noise, that kind of a thing. Same way, Savitri's chariot, although it is with strong hooves, strong wheels, and must be rattling on the way, but it is kind of gliding very gently from place to place, you see, Savitri's place. As floats a sunbeam to a shady place, the golden virgin in the caravan car came gliding among meditation's seeds. We have seen earlier the description of various types of people or seekers of spiritual truth, spiritual life who live in the forest. Kings, sages, hermits, ascetics, then realized souls, the rishis. That whole long description we have seen in the previous pages, you see. Now, Savitri is coming into another region where it is the place of meditation, where the rishis are staying and are absorbed in spiritual tapasya. That is the meditation seats. Came gliding among meditation's seats, often in twilight, mid returning troops. Now, well, she has been going from place to place. So in the evening, what happens to Savitri? And he says, often in twilight, mid returning troops, the cattle are returning to the homes. Back from the place, they're coming back. Of cattle thickening with the dust, the shades, when they are moving in the dusty places, they are kind of making the dust fly around, you see. When the loud day has slipped below the words, loud, active day with full of activity, when it has become quiet in the evening, it is in that manner Savitri is going. When the loud day has slipped below the words, coming below the horizon line, you see, meaning sunset, basically sunset, arriving in a peaceful hermit grove. They come back to the hermit grove for rest in the night. She rested, drawing round her like a cloak. Savitri goes and stays in some hermit's place, in some ashram, while she is going from place to place. Today here, tomorrow there, like that. She goes and stays in different places like that. Arriving in a peaceful hermit grove, she rested, drawing around her like a cloak. And what did she cover with? She is taking sleep. She covers herself with a spirit of patient muse and potent prayer. That is the cover, that is the bed cover she is using, see. The shawl or whatever, or blanket or whatever to call it, you see. The patient muse, calm, peaceful thought, contemplative ideas, and potent prayer. Prayer which is charged with some kind of a yearning, some kind of a longing, longing to the future, longing to meet her future partner. It is with that she is covering herself while she goes to sleep in the night. And then what happens next? Or if not in the hermit places, not in some ashram, or near to a lion river's tawny mane, the yellow-brown color of a rushing river, and that is a tawny mane of the lion, see. Or near to a lion river's tawny mane, and trees that worshipped on a praying shore, on the bank of the river, the trees are there. In fact, there is a very beautiful prayer of the mother in the evening, how the sap rises from the tree and then goes up in the evening as a kind of an offering. Very beautiful prayer of the mother is there for that. And trees that worshipped on a praying shore, a domed and templed airs, serene repose. So she would go and stay in some temple, under the dome of the temple, in the courtyard of the temple. Somewhere there she would go and stay. A domed and templed airs, serene repose, beckoned to her hurrying wheels to stay their speed. Yes, now you can come here and take rest, proper rest in the evening, you see. In the solemnity of a space that seemed a mind remembering ancient silences, where to the heart great bygone voices called, and the last liberty of brooding seer had left a long impress to their souls, seen, awake in candid dawn or darkened or darkness moon, to the still touch inclined, the daughter of flame, drank in her splendor between tranquil lids, and felt the kinship of eternal calm. So he is describing how Savitri falls asleep, basically, you see, in the night, how she falls asleep. Drank in her splendor between tranquil lids. Her eyes are there, tranquil, cool, and they're closing down, and felt the kinship. So when she is falling asleep, she feels the kinship with eternity. The eternal calm is what really fills her atmosphere, you see. In solemnity of a space, so that is the atmosphere of the forest where the rishis live, where the spiritual tapasya is being done, calm, quiet, serene, and in the space, a mind remembering ancient silences. What does mind remember there in those spiritual places, ancient silences? We'll talk about this thing in more detail. Where to the heart great bygone voices call. The old voices, they come back to the memory in those places where the tapasya, spiritual practices are being done. Where to the heart great bygone voices call, old voices, they are reaching. And a large liberty of brooding seers, those who are absorbed in tapasya, those seers, those rishis, it is in their liberty she is feeling and slipping into that atmosphere, had left the long impress of their souls seen. They are there, and it is that atmosphere which is filling the whole place completely. Their tapasya, their peace, left the long impress of their souls seen, awake in candid dawn or darkness moon, whether it is in early morning or when the night which is dark, but there is a moon there. It is charged with the spiritual tapasya of those people, and it is in that atmosphere Savitri is slipping in, is staying there, you see. Had left a long impress their souls seen, awake in candid dawn or darkness moon, to the still touch inclined, the daughter of flame, that is Savitri. She is the flame daughter. She is Agni Kanya, flame daughter, flame Agni, Kanya, daughter, Agni Kanya. Savitri is Agni Kanya. And it is that Agni Kanya who is going to take rest in the night at these places while she is moving from place to place to see. Actually, okay, we'll see that. Drank and hush splendor between. So therefore, he is now, see what the way poetry moves is really beautiful, very charming, you see. Drank and hush splendor between tranquil lids and felt the kinship of eternal calm. Obviously, this is an atmosphere of serenity, of calm, of tranquility, and it has the peace, it has the tranquility of the eternal himself there. Because the spiritual presence is there of those people who are staying there, also, you see. And drank in her splendor between tranquil lids. So it is the eyes which are drinking that splendor. You see that light, see. This sheer poetry, absolutely marvelous. See. Now this line, second line, a mind remembering ancient silences. This is one of the most beautiful lines, very powerful line. It is again a line which is coming from a very high plane of overhead poetry. A mind remembering ancient silences, a mind remembering ancient silences. It comes in a very smooth manner from somewhere and goes into somewhere. The earlier two lines, actually we have seen some of these earlier lines also. It comes into the class of lines, you see. See, the earlier line which you have seen was this one. To where mind motionless sleeps waiting life's birth. That is the line we have seen earlier. To where mind motionless sleeps waiting life's birth. 99.45, second line. There is also 99.45. To where mind motionless sleeps waiting life's birth. Mind is sleeping quietly, waiting for what? Waiting the birth of life. Waiting for the birth of life. That is again one of the topmost lines in Savitri, coming from the overhead point, from the over mind itself proper. To where mind motionless sleeps waiting life's birth. You can see the rhythm, where from it comes and how it moves on. It's very quietly, very grandly. In the same sentence, last line, sighs, sounds breaking from the soul's great deep. Sighs, sounds breaking from the soul's great deep. Again, another very powerful line, sure overmind line. All these three lines belong to the same class. See, Savitri, in terms of poetry, has variations. And it is not that throughout you have the overmind lines. They are there. There is a minimum level. They all belong to the overhead poetry, but all of them are not overmind poetry in Savitri. And when you talk of mantra, mantra belongs actually to the pure overmind plane. The utterance coming from the overmind, it is that which use mantra. So therefore, when we say Savitri is all mantric, that is I will say, kind of an exaggeration. It is too much of enthusiasm on our part to say Savitri is up like that. Savitri has variation. Savitri has grace. Savitri is a narrative poem also. But very, very often you get lines like this, which are absolutely coming from the overmind plane properly. There are passages, long passages, which definitely belong to overmind plane, you see. But throughout in Savitri, We have got in between like that lines sometimes of that kind. Not whole Savitri is not that type. That we have to understand also. See, to where mind motionlessly is waiting, lies birth, sights, sounds, breaking from the soul's great deed, breaking from the soul's great deed, sights, sound waves, breaking from the soul's great deed. It is in the same class, you have got here this line also, a mind remembering ancient silences, a mind remembering ancient silences. It comes from a different rhythm altogether, you see. So that is how Savitri would take rest in the night in some place, either in a temple courtyard or in some hermitage or some ashram. And again, next morning she will get up and resume her quest. But morn broke in, reminding her of her quest. She had been moving from month to month, from place to place for months. And from low rustic couch or mat she rose. So she would lie down on a simple mat and then get up in the morning and start her journey once more. In fact, for years and years and years, the mother was sleeping on the floor. She didn't have a cot, you see. You know that, you see. She was sleeping on the floor, you see. She used to sleep there in the room there on the floor, and at the entrance of the room, at the door there, human bai used to sleep there to guard her or to be there in case anything is required by her any moment. He used to sleep there on the floor at the door, you see. Human bai, you see. You see. No bed, just sleep on the floor. On, well, there was no, it was not there, you see, for her. It was so crowded, there was no place to keep cot, bed. Then later on, they built up the terrace room upstairs for her. It is on the second floor, you see. So she's, you must have seen that corridor passage like thing in the second floor. So there is a mother's room there, and she used to sleep there on the floor. And at the door, the human mind, that passage, she used to sleep there, you see. So all that he used to do was, he used to carry his pillow upstairs, human mind, and lie down there, you see. Start the work, you see. This is in her great palace, you see. And this girl, she is now going from place to place, to villages, to towns, to cities, to temples, to ashramas and all that thing. So she is meeting all kind of situations there. See. And from low rustic couch or mat, she rose and went impelled on her unfinished way. She has not found yet anybody. And followed the fateful orbit of her life. Fateful orbit of her life. She has been going again and again in search of a life's partner. Followed the fateful orbit of her life, like a desire that questions silent gods. Then passes starlight to some bright beyond. What a comparison. How she is moving. She is moving like a desire. Savitri is moving like a desire who questions gods. Desire is personified here, and it is that desire which questions the silent God. Yes, what are you doing for me? You see, the desire is asking the gods, silent gods. The silent gods are not responding, and yet the desire is there insisting, what are you doing for me? Why I am not able to find the place where I should go, you see. Then passes, yes? Again the word desire. Yeah. But what a beautiful simile. She is a desire personified now, you see. Yeah. Yeah. Aspiration. Yes. Yeah. And followed the fateful orbit of her life like a desire that questions silent gods, then passes starlight to some bright beyond. The desire disappears into some beyond. In the manner the star would go into some beyond and follow the fateful orbit of a life like a desire that questions silent God, then passes starlight to some bright beyond. Dance to great solitary tracks she came as she had been moving from place to place. Finally, she comes to a lonely place where hardly anybody lived, hardly there was any tracks seen like that. Where man was a passerby towards human scene. Very rarely somebody would go here like that in distant, remote places. Or soul in nature's vastness strove to live and call for help to ensouled invisible powers. See, either man is there, living there as a passerby and moving around, or else there could be souls who would invoke invisible powers to come and help them, to help it. Call for help to ensoul invisible powers. Invisible powers who had taken the souls, it is their help he will call. Either he is moving in nature like that, or he will invoke the help of invisible powers who had taken some human birth, ensouled, and called for help to ensoul invisible power, overwhelmed by the immensity of his world and unaware of his own infinity. Man is not aware of his own infinity, of his own possibilities, his potential, but there is something in him which does perceive the presence of invisible powers. And it is to those invisible powers he offers his prayers. He wants to get help from them. The earth multiplied to her its changing brow. So as Savitri is going from place to place, she is seeing different landscape. Sometimes green, sometimes brown, sometimes desert-like thing like that. So her brow is as if kind of changing from place to place. You see, various lands she is moving. The earth multiplied to her a changing brow and called her with a far and nameless voice. Savitri is receiving those voices going from place to place like that. The mountains in their anchorite solitude, as if they are busy, they are occupied with some kind of spiritual practices, these mountains, anchorite solitude. The forest with their multitudinous chant, yes, they are singing the praises of the great. Disclose to her the masked divinities doors. It is in nature herself, in her abundant moods, who is disclosing to Savitri, look, this could be a door for you to move. This could be a door for you to move. This could be a door for you to move in. The mountains, that anchorite solitude, the forest with their multitudinous chant, disclose chant, of course, there are all kinds of sounds there. The river, the brooks are there flowing rapidly in the mountain region. There are birds, there are animals, then the wind will be whistling to the forest trees and all that. So all types of sounds are there as if they are chanting the praise of the divine. The mountains in their anchorite solitude, the forests with their multitudinous chant, disclose to her the masked divinities' doors. On dreaming plains and indolent expanse lying lazily, indolent expanse, the deathbed of a pale enchanted eve. In the evening, when it is about to kind of fall silent, about to kind of disappear, the day is about to disappear, enchanted eve. So it is like a sort of a deathbed in the evening, you see, for to lie there. Under the glamour of a sunken sky, this is the scene of the evening. Impassive she lay as an as at an age's end, as if she is coming to the end of an age, of a yuga, of an eon. She is coming to the end of that thing. Means one yuga has gone, one era has passed, and it is dead now, so to say. It is going to slip into the other. So like that, she has been going. So it is also indicative of the fact that Savitri's journey is since the beginning of the earth towards this search. From time to time she comes here and keeps on. Or cross an eager pack of hurdle hills, lifting their heads to hunt a layer-like sky. The hills are there and they want a kind of a place where they can go and stay in the sky. Lifting their heads to hunt a layer-like sky. Or traveled in a strange and empty land where desolate summits camp in a weird haven. Mute sentinels beneath the drifting moon. So the moon is gliding in the sky and sentinels stars. Beneath them she is going. Mute sentinels beneath the drifting moon, or wandered in some lone, tremendous wood, ringing forever with a cricket's cry, ringing forever with a cricket's cry. Means while she is going in the evening, the cricket will be making its shrill voice and Savitri will be listening to the voices. Mute sentinels beneath the drifting moon, or wandered in some lone, tremendous wood, ringing forever with a cricket's cry, or followed a long, glistening serpent road. In the lonely forest, the roadway goes like that, you see. Through fields and pastures lapped in moveless light, or dream the wild beauty of a desert space, where never plough was driven, nor herd had gazed, and slumbered upon stripped and thirsty sands, amid the savage wild beast nice appeal. So this is the whole scene through which Savitri is traversing through all these different places. See, mute sentinels beneath the drifting moon, that is the stars. Stars are the sentinels of the night. And under this moon, the Lord of the stars, they are moving around with it. Or wandered in some tremendous wood, ringing forever with the cricket's cry. This is one of the most beautiful lines in Savitri, ringing forever with the cricket's cry. Actually, there is an allusion to a line in Vyasa's Mahabharata. In Mahabharata, Shyavan himself has given that example of the overhead poetry, overmind poetry. And he has translated that line also into English. In one of his letters, he specifically mentions a cricket's cry in the night and the way in which it is described by Vyasa in one of the places in Mahabharata. You see, I will read that line. Vanam pratibhayam shunyam jillika gananaditam. That is the original line. Vanam pratibhayam shunyam jillika gananaditam. See the sound itself, forget about the meaning content, but the sound force is so beautiful there. See. Vanam pratibhayam shunyam jillika gananaditam. That is the original sound. Now Shyavan has translated that thing in English when he is giving that example. pure over mind line of the association. A void and dreadful forest, ringing with the cricket's cry, ringing with the cricket's cry, ringing with the cricket's cry, the spirit of the universe, lending its own depth to our mortal speech. The spirit of the universe lending its own depth to our mortal speech, or listening from behind to some expression of itself. Listening from behind to some expression of itself. It is the spirit who is listening from behind its own expression. This is that line, you see. You are talking, but you are listening to your own sound, so to say. And that is the beauty of this line. Manam prativayam shunyam jillika gana naditam. Jillika, that is cricket. Gana naditam. The way it cries, you see, jillika gana naditam. Vanam, that is forest. Prativayam, dreadful forest. Full of fear, you see, dreadful forest. Vanam, forest. Pratibhayam, dreadful. Shunyam, void. Shunyam, void, cipher, zero. Jillika, that is the cricket. Gana, naditam, is cry. That's the original line. And Shivandu has rendered that thing in such a beautiful way here. Ringing forever with the cricket's cry. You can see the sound, see the poetry also. And the alliteration, see, ringing forever with the cricket's cry. What is it that really grips our attention in terms of sound? The repetition of a ringing forever with the cricket's cry. So many R's are there in the line. And of course, C, cricket cry. Yeah. The alliteration is so powerful, you see. It is that effect which has come here, you see. That's right. Ringing forever the cricket's cry. See, that is how, see, that is what one should sleep. You can listen to your peacocks in the night and and see how this is. Right. Or followed a long, glistening serpent road through fields and marshes lapped in moose light, or read the wild beauty of the desert Spain, where never plough was driven, nor herd had grazed, not even a cattle was there, not even a cow was there, no animal was there. Such lonely, isolated place. She's going like that. And slumbered upon stripped and thirsty sands. Savitri would go and sleep on the banks of a river in the night sometimes. Amid the savage, wild beast, nice appeal. And there'll be all kind of beasts of prey around. Still unaccomplished was the fateful quest. Savitri is going from place to place. The fate van is moving through different regions, but still the objective is not fulfilled. Unaccomplished was the fateful quest. Still she found not the one predestined face for which she sought amid the sons of men. A grandiose silence wrapped that regal day. So the day in all purple glory, it will slip down and become quiet in the evening. The months had fed the passion of the sun. It's becoming brighter and brighter, intenser and intenser sun constantly. And now his burning breath ascended in the soil. The summer, Grishma, that is the word in Sanskrit, is intense, is full intensity, hottest. What you'd call, it is the time of Agni Nakshatra. You must have heard of Agni Nakshatra. When the heat is really intense, the Agni Nakshatra. And now his burning breath assailed the soil. The tiger heads, proud to the fainting earth, all was licked up as well lolling tongue. So the tiger, his tongue is licking up everything. You see. The spring winds fade, the sky was set like bronze, very hot, very intense, very hard, so to say, bright, metallic bronze. It's a kind of metallic sky shining there and the light. Still unaccomplished was the fateful quest. Still she found not the one predestined face for which she sought amid the sons of men. And he says, of course, for months she had been going on, the months had fled from place to place. Still she had not come to a place where she would meet her future husband. She's still moving around like that, you see. Now here, this is what happens in great mystic poetry, great epic poetry particularly. Savitri is moving from place to place. Savitri is not aware when and where she is going to meet her future life partner. Yet, it is predestined. She is bound to meet somebody somewhere. Rather, not somebody. She is bound to meet the one whom she must meet. She is bound to meet, predestined phase. Now, so this is a description at two levels, basically. One description is at the human level. Savitri has no idea where and how she is going to meet the person she has been seeking. She has no idea. Human Savitri has no idea at all. She is under the full cover, under the full veil of nature. And it is through that process she has to keep on trying and moving and moving and move on, like that. But at the same time, there is somebody else somewhere who knows, yes, Savitri must go like this, must go like this, must go like this, must go like this. She has to trace a given path. Somewhere else it is already fixed, and she is bound to meet the person she must meet somewhere else. So that is why she is a predestined phase. Savitri must meet Satyavan. That is what it means basically. But that determination is in the higher plane, in the upper plane. Savitri must meet Satyavan, that is in the upper plane. On the human plane, on the terrestrial plane, on the earthly plane, she has to go through the entire process of a fateful quest. Fateful quest. Savitri's soul is in search of something, it will find something. But also, it has to take care of the workings of nature. The way nature works here, it is also required. Fate is governed by all these factors. The particular event is governed by all the factors. The soul, the working of nature, and the higher determination. All of them come together to determine and a fixed event. Savitri, as far as human Savitri is concerned, she is groping, she is finding out, she is struggling, she is moving forward here, there, everywhere. She is not in a position to see that thing at all at this stage. Therefore, still she found not one predestined face. Obviously, the poet is telling us simultaneously both. She, as a human Savitri, has not found, but she, who is guided by her inner deity, by her Shakti, the higher Shakti, supervising all her movements from above, it is she who will take her to the given place. So there is no contradiction in the terminology here. You have to see at two different planes altogether. She found not one predestined fate for which she sought amid the sons of men. That is the important thing. He has taken a human birth. And it is in the human conditions they have to meet together, come together, for accomplishing a superhuman task. through human mechanism, machination, operation, they had to accomplish something which is superhuman. And the superhuman is being supervised, guided from above. And it is bound to happen here. A grandiose silence wrapped the regal day. The months had fed the passion of the sun, and now is burning with a sail destroyed. The tiger is proud to the fainting earth. All was licked up as by a lowering tongue. The spring winds failed. The sky was set like bronze. Now, what it means is that basically, see how meticulous, how careful, so to say, the poet is in every detail. Savitri and Satyavan are going to meet in the month in summer, in the month of summer, maybe sometime in June, roughly. They are going to meet in summer. Summer is an important ingredient in the story of Savitri. Summer and noon. In fact, in Savitri, that thing appears at a number of places. Summer and noon. Long forenoon. See, right from the first canto itself, I got that description of noon. They are tied together, summer and noon. Because it is in summer they will meet Satyavan and Savitri. And it is predicted, it is destined, it is foretold, proclaimed by Narad that exactly 1 year after the marriage, Satyavan will die. In other words, Satyavan's death is going to take place in the month of summer. It is going to take place sometime in the summer, you see. It is fixed already. Now, why summer? There has to be, so to say, although in the occult manner the death is fixed, it has to happen, it will happen. But on the physical plane, there has to be some kind of a physical cause for death. You can't simply say that he died. There has to be some sort of a physical cause for death. And that physical cause comes through summer. Satyavan is going to work hard on that particular day. He is going to expose himself too much to the sunlight, intense sunlight, lowering tongues, you see, and he is going to get kind of a sunstroke. And that becomes the cause of his death. It is not by accidentally hitting himself with the axe. It is not that at all. That could be one way of saying. It is not that at all, you see. It is not by a snake bite that is going to die, which happened in another poem, you see. And normally what happens is the cause of death due to accidental hitting is more or less instantaneous. Snake bite takes roughly 2 hours for the poison to work, for the death to occur. It takes that time. The sunstroke also takes a little time for death to take place. It's not instantaneously that he dies here. It leads to that stage. Now, that particular aspect is important when you speak of Satyavan's death after their marriage, 1 year after the marriage in the forest. And then for 2 hours, 3 hours, Savitri travels along the spirit of Satyavan behind Yama, behind death, to claim his soul back, you see. So summer in that sense is a crucial element, and that is why you have this linkage of summer everywhere in the poem. In fact, as we have seen earlier, this particular book, the Book of Birth and Quest, Book 4, opens with the seasons, 6 Indian seasons. And the first season which he is describing is the summer. It is in the month of summer that the conception of the girl takes place. And then sometime in the spring, she is born around 21st February of some era, you see. She is born in the spring. And then again, later on, Savitri is going from place to place for months and months. It is the month of summer. She is going to meet Satyavan in the forest. 1 year after the marriage, again in summer, he is going to die. So the connection, the linkage is there throughout. The poet is very consistent, you see. He is not mentally thinking, it is already kind of designed that way, and he is simply narrating the whole story, you see. So actually the death takes place in the month of Jeshta, that is June roughly, and on a full moon night, which is also very significant, and summer of course is there, Grishma. So all these things are tied up together. Now, you don't ask me in which year. we can only we can only pinpoint some of these days and dates like that, you see, and the cause also to some extent, you see. The very second line here, the golden virgin in a carven car. Savitri is riding in a chariot, carven, very well decorated also. She is a princess after all. And she herself, according to Shebandhu's description, she is driving the chariot herself, you see, all the while, you see. Carven car. Now, this word carven and equivalent to that appears a number of times in Savitri, which is very interesting. See, for instance, we have 140.28. O traveler in the chariot of the sun. That is what Savitri is, chariot of the sun. This is the description, this is the statement made by Death himself to Savitri. Death is addressing to Savitri that she is a traveler in the chariot of the sun. Chariot of the, that is the quality, nature. The carven car is a chariot of the sun. Her carven car is a chariot of the sun. Now, this is also etymologically very significant. Earlier we are saying she is the daughter of flame, Agniputra. See, she is the daughter of the flame. See, flame, sun. Now, Savitri, the word Savitri in Sanskrit is a feminine, as a progeny of Savitra. Savitra's issue is, female issue is Savitri. The sun god's daughter is Savitri. That is the meaning of Savitri. She is the daughter of sun god himself, Savitri. And therefore she is driving in the chariot of the sun, in his own chariot. The tradition says that the horses, the divine horses, drive the chariot of the sun in the sky from east to the west, you see. And she is traveling with that, you see. Savitri, you see. They're all interlinked in that sense. So Savitri's description of carven car, in fact, carven car appears number of places. I have made a note of it here. 100.1 we have already seen. Okay, let us see again. Then we have 104.3. Then down she came from her high carven car. From high carven car. Now, this is a description pertaining to the meeting of Satyavan and Savitri. They have met, they have pledged themselves to be together. Savitri is meeting Satyavan, and then she gets down from her chariot and approaches Satyavan. It is that particular scene which is described. Down she came from her high carven car. And they are meeting at a given place. Then they pledge to be together. And Satyavan takes her to the hermitage where they stay. And from a distance, he shows them, look, this is my father's place. It is this place where I live. And then Savitri again takes a chariot and drives back home to Mathura, to her palace. So this scene is very peculiar scene, which is kind of little disturbing me also, see. In the sense that Savitri has got down from the chariot, they have met together, they have pledged to be together. Satyavan is leading Savitri to his hermitage, where he lives, and shows from a distance, this is my father's place. And then Savitri takes the chariot and goes back. So there are some frames in the movie which are missing. Is it not so? See, my question is, all right, Savitri is taken there. Did he take her to the house or not inside? Or simply showing from a distance, look here, I'm staying. He must have, yeah, that's right. He must have. Then secondly, she takes the chariot and goes back. Now the chariot is here and she is here. How did the chariot come from here to here? To the hermitage. Because the chariot is there only, you see. She is driving the chariot herself. You see. Now what it means that Savitri is walking back to the place where the chariot was standing. So that is, then again we have got another instance, 105.8. Once more, 105.8. This is what we have been talking. Once more, she mounted on the Karvan car. On the Karvan car. See, once more means they have met together. Satyavan has shown to her his place, and she is now mounting her Karvan car and going back to her father's place. Within a few hours. They met in the morning and they were together till noon. They have placed them to be together at noon time, and she is now back. 3 hours, 4 hours, that's all, the whole meeting. See, he says, no, see the second line, and under the azure of fiery noon. He says here, under the azure of fiery noon, she is going back. They met in the morning, maybe around 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock or something, and by 12, she is back now. Again, this noon is important. Their meeting place is noon, and the death of Satyavan occurs in summer at noon. See, once more she mounted on the Karvan car, under the azure of fiery noon. Less bright than the splendor of her thoughts and dreams, obviously, because now she is so excited after having met Satyavan that even the noon appears to her cool. Is nothing. The intensity of love is so much, the power of heat of love is so much that even the noon kind of fades in that presence. Less bright than the splendor of her thoughts and dreams, she sped swift rain. Now she is going very fast. Swift rain. Her horses are now moving fast because she is in a hurry to go back to the palace and report to her father. Yes, I have found. I have accomplished the task. Therefore, swift rain, swift heart rate. Swift hearted, obviously, her heart is now palpitating, constantly excited, you see. But still so, in still lucidity the sighs inner world. Now here comes the picture of the inner world. While she is excited, what does she say in the inner world? Through the cool scented woods, luxurious gloom. While she is going away from the hermitage, from the, in her vision, in her inner eyes, in her memory, in her recesses, she is remembering their meeting constantly. See, naturally that scene cannot disappear from her sight. After meeting Satyavan, that scene, that whole event cannot fade away. from her consciousness. You see. Still, city resides in our world through the cool scented woods, luxurious gloom, on shadowy paths between great rugged trunks, face towards a tranquil clearing, Satyavan. So that whole Satyavan scene will always remain in her heart. Her meeting with Satyavan, that will always remain with her, you see. And that thing is what she is carrying now with her, you see. She is moving fast. She has to go back and report to her father, look, I have done. I have found my life's partner. This now remained with her. See the last sentence. This now remained with her heart's constant scene. So wherever she goes now, she will remember that thing. Oh, this is obvious. Then we have got 103.7, we are seeing, no? 103.7. Amid the pageantries of day and dusk, long have I travelled with my pilgrim soul, moved by the marvel of familiar things. This is what Savitri has been moving around all around and remembering that thing, Satyavan Savitri. And then he speaks of the car of light for Savitri, 102.33. See, when Savitri is about to meet Satyavan, in fact, that we'll be seeing now shortly. And who's trampling fast? Savitri is driving fast in the morning, and she is now encountering Satyavan. Wheels largely stumbling ceased. The chariot stood 103 and 102.33. The chariot stood like an arrested wind. Her carbon car, she chariot, she's holding a stop, halt. You see, the moment she sees this man, you see, like an arrested wind. And then when Narad speaks of the death of Satyavan 1 year after marriage, naturally, very naturally, Savitri's mother is distraught. She is not happy. How can she be? My daughter is going to be widow 1 year after the marriage? Impossible. I can't accept that kind of a thing. What kind of cruel God is it to give? She is going to accuse him that, you see. And therefore, she tells to Savitri 106.151. She tells firmly to Savitri, Savitri, she says in fact, I reject the grace and the mockery. This is a mockery of fate. Yes, Satyavan is good, etc., etc., all that thing, that's a grace, but it's a mockery of fate. 106.152, just before that. And then he says, alas, mounting thy car, go forth, O Savitri. Her mother is telling her, look, Savitri, you have stumbled upon some wrong person. This you had to dismiss from your mind. Take your car again and make another search. Of course, Savitri is going to say no to that. You see. Then we have got 123.46. 46, 123.46. To speed my car, which now the lightnings drive. My God, you see, the lightnings are driving the car, you see, or the Titan. And I want to, Titanic force, you see, this is what it says, you see. Yeah. Speed my car, which now the lightnings drive, and turn the engines of my miracles. And this is the Asuric force which is responding to that, you see. So our electric cars are coming. Our electric cars are coming. Lightning cars are there. You see. Yeah. Now then there is an imaginations car. Well, actually, it is not nuclear. Lightning does not stand for nuclear. You can say, yeah, yeah, fissured. Yes, yes. Yeah, that is nuclear. Yeah, 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 yeah. That is true. Yeah, that is true. That's the point. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But he says lightning, so that is a little. Very fissured. Yeah, that's right. At the moment, he is driving the lightning car, which will be later on the fissured. Yeah. Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's already there. He's already there in Savitri. He's already there. Then we have got imagination scar, 117.16. 117.16. Adventuring into infinite mind space, he unfolds his wings of thought in air or traveling in imagination's car. Crosses the globe, journeys beneath the stars. So this has already been achieved. Is it not so? Crossing the globe, yes, of course, we have gone into the space. Journeys under the stars. Yes, we are moving in space. This has already been achieved. Crosses the globe, journeys beneath the stars. But the other things are, of course, not there. Then we have got another very beautiful instance. Uh, car, pardon me? There were planes. Yeah, of course. There were planes. No, when he wrote these cantos, planes were, of course, there. The bombing was taking place with the plane. Yeah, exactly. You see, yeah, yeah. Planes were definitely there. Yeah. Then we have got Caravan Chariot, 99.16. 99.16. Fourth line, her caravan chariot. That is Savitri's chariot, her caravan chariot. Now he is using car, instead of car, he is using chariot here. Her caravan chariot with its fretted wheels. Fretted means so with decoration, with the kind of metal decorations in that you see. Fretted wheels. And same way we have got another very beautiful image here, 159.3 toward the end. Then Satyavan's soul has come back and all is happiness and joy and whatnot. 159.3. Drawn by white means 159.3, third. One, or drawn by white means upon a high roofed car. And the horses are white horses. White horses, Kalki, yeah, absolutely. This is the scene of Satyavan, of Satyavan and Savitri going back to the Salva country in the chariot. In the chariot, yeah, it is Kalki. It is the beginning of the new age. Yeah, yeah, it's very true. Kalki, that's correct. high roofed car. You see, that is how the royalty will come, the new manifestation will come in that kind of way, you see. Then, of course, we have already seen the freight van pass from hamlet to village, you see. Now, there are number of occurrences of chariot in Savitri. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 occurrences of chariot and car. So that is the kind of a car in which Savitri is moving. Now, so we are sort of through with this book, the book of birth and quest, over a period of 4 months, April, May, June, July, 4 months. About 20 sessions we had to cover this book in all, roughly.